Let's see if I get anybody. Hey guys. Let's see, let's see. Let's see what you have. Let's see who we have. Yes. Let's see who we have here. Let's see. Hi guys. Hi guys. Welcome, welcome to my sewing live. Now today I am here doing a little sewing for a client of mine's that I had. Let me just drop this thing a little. Yeah, so you guys can see. This client, I had this outfit for sews for this client a good while. And you know, by working on these things, you can't get to sew as before, right? So I have this client clothes for a long while. For over a year now, she bring this clothes. But this is a client that even if I don't have time to like sew her clothes, she would wait. She would give me that cloth and that client would wait, right? Whether it's a year, whether it's 2 years, once she ain't busy for it, she would wait for it. So I have this client and I got this cloth since last year. I think last year, December or November. So I want to give her this clothes before it meet into our next year. So I decide to, I already done the clothes, but the problem is that, you know, sometimes you may have the person measurement, right? You may have the person measurement and you fit the clothes up. And that's why it's always good to have a mannequin, you know, like Dress Farm, like with, you could pad it to people measurement. Now, padding a Dress Farm is very easy. They have the method for that, right? But before we get into all that, as the topic said, why take on a job if you know you're aware that your sewing skill is lacking, right? We know not everybody going able to sew everything. Sometimes you might see some style online, you mightn't able to sew everything, right? You might see maybe a nice style you might like, and you may want to sew this style you're seeing. But you have to remember, people showing you, especially creators on Writing, they might make a style and then you might think that, okay, you're watching this style and you may think it easy. You might see they sew this outfit, you might see they sew this dress, you might see they sew this pantsuit, and you might say, yes, I can do that. That's very easy. I could do that. And you prime up for do it. And then when you do get to doing it, you realize how difficult this thing is, right? because it's not every sewing video you see out there, it will be easy. Some you have quick, some you have easy, some you have quick sewing, right? It's not all going to be easy. So my thing is, now you might be lacking in your sewing skill. And some client might bring some clothes. I hope you all hearing me. Some client might bring clothes for y'all sew for them, right? And they might bring a particular style. No, I telling you this based on my experience, right? I'm telling you this based on my experience. It's not every style somebody bring, you have the knowledge to sew it, right? You may looking at photos, they might bring the photos, and sometimes they might just bring the front of the garments, right? They might just bring the front of the garments. You know, may thinking that this garment so easy that you can just jump and sew these garments. Well, I'm here to tell you that if you know you're lacking certain sewing skill, don't go and take these big work with all these big style. You have to do a hands-on training first before you can go and take all these big styles where these clients may be bringing for you for so, especially if you are a beginner. Don't go and take, not because you might see it, how to do it online. Online, especially creators, they don't show you everything. It's just like we Guyanese, we would say, is a lick and a promise. They just show you a quick video, but they're not showing you all the work and all the things have to go in to these clothes for sewing them, right? Number one, you have to get the tools. If you don't have the tools for sewing these clothes, how will you sew them? First of all, when they bring the fabric, sometimes the style they bring to you is not the fabric that they bring, right? Sometimes the fabric is a different fabric this person have when you see these styles for these clothes. So if so, you see as someone's a client bring a particular style for you for sew, right? Like for instance, let's say I will show you something. I have something I want. No, I saw this pattern online. Y'all know I don't really like sewing from commercial pattern because for me this does take too long, right? So I would rather draft my clothes and I would rather sew my clothes and draft it with my measurement. I don't like too much. I don't like commercial pattern for one. I don't know for what reason, but I have some here, right? What I want to try. For instance, you see this dress here? I want to try this dress here. Now, I could draft this dress for myself, right? I had this pattern here a long time, so I said, let me try this pattern with this fabric. I already cut out everything inside here. If you can see, everything is here for this pattern. You have the thread. Well, the thread I didn't had the thread to go this fabric, but my friend sent this fabric for me to go with this. Oh, this fabric and the next one she sent for me for go with this. This one here match it very nice, and I will use this that she sent to sew these garments. Now I could draft this pattern. I could draft this for myself, right? And design it and sew it. Now I have this pattern here and I said, let me try this pattern. And I will tell you, I cut this pattern out since about 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago. Everything is here that I cut out for sew this thing. And I cannot get around to finish sew this thing because the reason is I like drafting my own pattern, right? And to me, when I draft my own pattern, I sew my clothes faster and quick. So sometimes some people might bring some style for you. And if you know that you are lacking the skills in sewing this style, don't be ashamed to tell them, listen, I cannot sew this style. Or don't be ashamed to tell them, you don't have the knowledge for sewing this big style. I can remember when I first was learning to sew, right? When I first was learning to sew, I didn't know anything about sewing machine. I didn't know anything about sewing machine because I used to wear only jeans. When I tell you I love my jeans up to a day like today, only jeans I used to wear, right? Is when I start going to church, then I start wearing skirt and dress and these things. And then the amount of money I have to buy for clothes, I decide, listen, I will learn to sew my own clothes. So I go and I learn to sew and I start sewing my own clothes. Now, it had one time after I learned to sew, I didn't even learn yet, right? I didn't even learn yet to sew. And it had this girl bring a dress. She draw out a dress, a style on a sheet of paper, and she bring it and asked me if I could sew this dress for she. Now, mind you, I now learning for sew. I didn't even reach like 2 weeks yet in my sewing class. I was fresh because I didn't know anything sewing machine. I didn't know anything, right? I know going classes 3 times a week and them thing. So she bring this cloth, she draw this style and she bring this cloth. Excuse me, let me just hold this paper. Yeah, she bring this cloth and this style we should draw and ask me if I could sew this style. Now, as a new beginner, who I know anything about sewing, I know anything about the type of machine, the type of machine needle that this factory have to sewing. So I tell her, yes, I take the work. Now mind you, me ain't know anything about sewing. New bit of sewing. Not even a good 2 weeks. I take the work and I tell her, yes, I will sew this dress for she. Right? I ain't shame to tell her you. The woman were the place where I going and learn to sew. When the woman see I come with the fabric and she see I came with the style, and I tell she, look, somebody asked me to sew this, if I could sew this dress for them, but I don't know anything about sewing this style, but I still taking the work. And a lot of we creators is like that, right? Sometimes you might just learning to sew, but you want to um to how you would put it, you want to challenge yourself, right? So I is this kind of person, I like to challenge myself, right? I would take the hardest design, the hardest style. You understand? The most difficult one because I want to challenge myself. And all you is tell yourself you can do it. Once you keep telling yourself you cannot do it, your whole mindset would change. You would always keep doubting yourself and you'd always tell yourself you lack of this experience, you lack of this knowledge, you can't sew this thing. You're always fretting with yourself. You have to have a positive mindset, right? Go to a hands-on classes, learn this thing step by step. Don't just take what you're seeing online and thinking that you can become this big professional. Professionals, all these designers had to go to a designing school to learn to do these things, right? So you might see they doing all these big style. They had to go to a designer school. So after I take this work now, me and know nothing about sewing, but I take this work. So I take the work and I go and buy the lady with this fabric, start to draft all this thing. The lady said, well, you very much bold because now you in know nothing about sewing, but you taking in work. I say, yes, I want to see how it would go. When I sit down, we draft out the style thing. The lady showed me how to draft this style, everything. I tell myself now, well, I think I could handle this style. The fabric is a very thin fabric. That's the first fabric I know I learned on, a very thin fabric. And mind you, I didn't know anything about sewing the type of needle have to sew with this fabric, which needle to use. I didn't know anything about that. So I tell the woman I gonna take these clothes home. I gonna take this dress home and I gonna sew this dress for this person. I tell myself I could do it. I never asked the woman what type of needle could go with this fabric because this fabric was them thin chiffon fabric. So you know you have to get a special, the finest needle for sew this thing. Plus you can't get no big thick thread for sew this thing, and your machine have to be at certain settings for sew this thin fabric. So I came home with the garments to sew, and when weekend I decide to sew these garments for the girl, the client. That was my first client. I tell myself I could handle. I knew that I was lacking that skill when I start learning to sew. I knew I was lacking that skill, but I had the mindset that once you put your mind to something, you can do it. So I came home with the outfit and I sew this outfit for this client. When I finished sew this outfit for this client, for me, I find the outfit was okay. The only problem was the style that the person gave me to sew. Even though the woman show me how to draft out the style, show me everything. If I stay and sew that garment by the teacher, it would have come out perfect. But I take it on myself and I decide to come home with these garments. With these garments and sew these garments. When I finish sewing these garments, is nothing like the style with this girl give me to sew. I don't know is what. I don't know what happened in that short period of time. The style completely changed. I don't know what was the style. I telling you this when I first start. The style was the dress had this nice kind of a piece cut out here. We they call this the a bun here in the middle here, but it then a nice V. Both the top and the bottom in a V. The by the waist it cut in a V. The top cut in a V with this midriff. And the dress flare out nice. Nice dress. I tell the girl design nice dress. But when I don't fit up this clothes, it's a completely different style. Because I tell myself, I don't need my teacher for show me how to sew this thing. I could sew it myself because I think I had enough knowledge. But I was wrong. You understand? I was wrong then. A completely different style from where this person give me to sew. I sew, which I knew I was lacking in that area. When I take the girl, I didn't charge her for sew this dress because remember that was my first project, and I glad so I tell her I gonna do it free. Is a good thing I do it free, and I didn't charge her to sew anything because darling, I gotta buy back the whole cloth plus find the money and give back the client. But when I carried the dress, was a completely different style. She didn't like the dress. She did not like the dress, but everybody else liked this dress. She did wear the dress, right? She did wear the dress, but she tell me, that is not the style she give me to sew. I apologize. Sometimes when you know that you're wrong, you have to take the initiative, put pride at the back of you, and apologize. So I take the initiative and I apologize to she. I tell her, I say, no, I know learning. So I use my force and I try to practice on and so on. She said she understand, but that is not the style she give me to sew. I tell her, yes, I understand and them thing, but I like the dress. Other people like the dress, right? Everybody that see her in this dress, telling her this dress look nice. Even her mom, even her dad tells you this is a beautiful dress. But she didn't just like the style because it wasn't the exact style that she gave me to sew. And remember, I was now learning. So I explained to her, she was kind of upset, but eventually she understand. She wear the dress, even though she didn't like the style and thing and so. And this is why I telling you. And this is why I decided to do this topic today. Sometimes we knew that we lacking in certain area, but we still want to take that work. Don't do that. You understand? If you know you cannot sew a color, don't take nobody work to sew a color because I'm telling you, you would do a bundle of nonsense, a set a mess, a set of stupidness. You would even have to buy back these people cloth. So if you know you in rich, you don't have the skill to sew buttonhole, don't take nobody fabric and say you're going and sew buttonhole on it, knowing that you lacking that skill, right? Don't take nobody work. If you know that you cannot sew a collar onto a top or a dress, go and practice. Practice make perfect. They always say, and you would always hear this slang in sewing: cut, measure twice, cut once, right? And next thing, if you know that you can put on zipper, learn to put on this zipper first before you take anybody work, anybody fabric, or before you take in work. Because remember, you lacking these skills. You never know for put on a zipper. You never practice to put buttonholes. You never practice. Let me tell you, the first time I do buttonhole, you hear what I'm telling you? But I do a short, I want to do a jacket with button for me. And the first time I do buttonhole and put on button on clothes, I don't know if it's a ladder the button the climbing, but the hole there one way, the button there one way, and the short can button. So I don't know if it's a ladder or the button the running away from the hole. I didn't know what the going on with me with these buttonhole, right? But I wear my short, but I didn't wear it with pride. I wear it with shame because my hand only covering where the buttonhole is because me want nobody see how these button the running away and left the hole on the shirt. Right? So that is from experience I telling you when I first learned into. So buttonhole was the worst. I completely didn't like doing buttonholes. Right? Then they have the button machine for the buttonhole machine came out. And sometimes you trying to get this foot for stitch this buttonhole and there's a whole heap of nonsense going on. It's like it ain't working, it ain't going. So what I learned to do is use my industrial machine for sew my buttonhole foot. And how I do that, I would get a piece of fabric and I would measure the button, right? Measure now, mind you, this industrial machine come with a button machine hole. Come with a button foot. I purchased one, but it's too much work. You have to take off all these things to fit this buttonhole on this industrial machine. And I find that it's too much work for me. So what I did, I go and I get a piece of fabric, mark out the button, line out the size of the button, everything, and I practice on my industrial machine with the same. My machine is a straight stitch machine, a lock stitch. It don't have zigzag, right? I have one in the corner here, those vintage machine that, let me just swing the camera and show you. This one here, this vintage machine here could go both straight and zigzag. So I could sew buttonhole very easy on this machine here, right? But, and that is a heavy duty machine as well, but I prefer to use this, right? So I practice sewing buttonhole on this machine. So now I could sew my buttonhole on that machine without a buttonhole foot. Next thing I did not like to do, what I had to learn to do was sewing zipper properly, especially, and this is a next thing. You see stretch fabric? What people just make this zipper look like it go on easy and how it sit down properly. Stretch fabric in the whole sewing zipper on it. First of all, you have to develop a method how this thing going to, because right now is a stretch fabric I sew in here and I have to put on a zipper on this. But my method for put on this zipper, if you look at the end here, you see, I had to put a piece of we call it, for don't let the fabric stretch, a piece of iron-on facing on it so it won't stretch, because this is a stretchy fabric, right? So for put on a zipper, especially on a stretch fabric, you could either use stay tape or you can either use iron-on facing, right? Cut out a piece of iron-on facing and you can use that. So if you know you can't sew zipper, learn to sew zipper. The first time I sew zipper, you hear what I'm telling you, was on a dress that attached, the top that attached to the skirt, right? You know when you're doing these two-piece dress, you have, like how I have this here, and then I have the other piece to attach onto the bottom. The first time I saw zipper, the two seam did not match up. One of the seam there about 2 inches above the next one. But that was on my own clothes. So what I do, I use that opportunity and decide to practice to fix that zipper. Let me tell you something. Going to sewing school and pattern drafting school and all these designer school, those people are there to guide you, right? So you have to teach yourself a lot of things. A lot of things I learned today and a lot of things that I could do today is what I teach myself, because teachers are only there to guide you. They might show you this, but you have to practice. Practice make perfect. I always want to be the best in what I do. If I sew in, I always want my clothes to look the best. I always want to look good. I always want people must feel comfortable inside. When they put it on, they must feel, you know, like they just step out of a most expensive boutique. So that's why if you know you lacking skill in certain area, trust me, it won't cause you a thing for go and learn these skills. Learn to think, draw some line on paper, practice how to stitch straight, practice on old fabric. The best fabric to practice on with these things is the domestic fabric. Some people call it the Muslim fabric. Some people call it the we call it what we call it. Those fabric where they just have the bleach cotton and these things. There's the best. I have piece here as I would show. There's the best fabric to practice on because it's stiff enough, right? It have structure, so you would learn better on this fabric than going and buy a piece of polyester or a piece of thin fabric. Practice on like the Muslim fabric, the domestic fabric, and they have other name, I think they just call it, right? That's the best fabric for practice on. So most of the thing that I learn and you would see I doing is what I teach myself. Zipper was my biggest enemy, especially invisible zipper. That was one of the biggest enemy for me, right? But if you want to be in the sewing field, you have to learn to do these things, right? You have to learn. You cannot say, well, oh, you could do this and you could do that, and you ain't going and develop yourself. Develop yourself. If you and the thing about it, let me tell you, and I'll give you a good advice. It may sound foolish, but you know, if you have a skill, you could quit your 9 to 5 job, especially if people know around the area that your work is good. Always take your time, put the effort into the work. Take your time. Never go on a sewing machine if you know that you're not in the mood to sew. You know why I know sewing these garments? If the person they really in need of it, I would have finished it. Right? But they tell me take my time, there's not in need of it, even if it's still next year. Do it, bring it when I finish. I like client like that. I don't like this rushy thing. Rush for so this, rush for so the late night you after the up sewing. This late night sewing is not for me. I home, I do my thing, I done. If I know I feel too drained, I leave it. I come back when I get the energy. If you know you putting on a zipper, the zipper start to give you a problem, leave it. Go and take a 5, leave it for the next day. Breathe yourself out. Take a 5 and come back to it. Eventually, come back when you rejuvenate, when you got this the energy, come back. Them time when you feel like you understand. Once is not a rush. Rushing for sewing, you would make a whole mess. You understand? So if you know you're lacking in certain area, practice first before you go and take in all these big set of work, and you know you cannot sew the people them clothes. When you're done, you make a whole heap of mess, and when you're done, you're hiding from the people them. You understand? I know of seamstress who mess up people clothes and then they're hiding from the client. You understand? They got the client, oh, I ain't done it yet. I ain't done it yet. You'll get it next week. You'll get it next week, not knowing you mess up the client clothes all because you're lacking in certain area. Right? So most of the thing that I doing, you would see me doing, I teach myself. And next thing what I did, after I start sewing by the woman, she'll teach me to sew. That woman ended up going away to the States. So I remember I was just a beginner. I didn't have no other alternative but to go and learn it. So I used to take one class other places, and then if I see class online, I would sign up online and I would do the classes. I decided to go and do my my sewing and designing class. It take me about 2 or 3 years to complete, but I glad I did because it was a lot of stress. It's because remember you was a newbie, you're new to this thing, you have to learn, you have to read. There's a lot of reading. It's more theory than practical, right? Going to these schools is more theory than practical. And for me, I like to keep it real on my channel. I like to tell people the truth. Reading is not part of me. I don't like reading. I prefer you show me the practical 1, 2, 3 times. The 4th time, you don't have to show me that again. Show me it 1, 2, 3 times, 3 times or 2 times. And I would practice, practice, practice until I get that right. You understand? Reading, I don't, you see all these, and I just tell people, I have a lot of pattern book. But remember, I in pattern drafting a long time. So since I see like a style, first of all, you have to know the if the style is in centimeter or in inches. So sometimes you might see a style in a pattern book. You might say, yes, you could draft this style. You have to know if the measurement is in centimeter or if it's in inches. Most times, some pattern book, the measurement does be in centimeter. For instance, I have some and it's only in centimeter. I have a next one is only in inches. So you must know the distinction between centimeter and inches because with the inches, they would have two dash like at the top of the 1 or 2 or whatever. And with the centimeter, they would have like a C or CM. So you would know the difference. So I just tell people, don't go out and buy all these pattern book if you know you don't like reading like me. Right? I have a lot of pattern book. I just dash shoot them. And all I need from that is how much centimeter to measure from the shoulder width to here, how much centimeter to come down from the shoulder to the arm, how much centimeter to go out to the hem, how much. That's all I need. I don't read this book because to me, I just don't like reading. From ever long, since I small growing up, reading wasn't my thing. My thing is more maths. I love maths. Was my favorite subject in school. You know what I telling you? I could have sit down and calculate anything, pop, 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 out my head. Somebody come, my auntie had a business. Somebody come for buy something, she there with a pen and paper. I said, no, give them this change. This is for this, that is for that. Eventually, she ended up allowing me now to stay in the business and run it after I finish school. Because she find I calculating more fast, but maths was just my thing. Reading wasn't my, come to me with this reading this whole long paragraph. No problem. It's not that I could read, right? I could read, but I just don't like reading. I don't know, they have a lot of people. Sometimes they have people like that. Show them the practical and they will do better than in the theory. And next thing too, I had to teach myself is ironing. Ironing the clothes make it look as professional. If you sew something and you don't take your time and iron it, it look like home sewing clothes. Iron your clothes. Get the perfect iron. They have tailor iron. You have seamstress iron. You have different iron. So you have to when you stitch a piece of, if it's a hem, iron that hem, iron as you go along. You have to learn all these things. That's the only way your clothes would look like a professionally made garments. And next thing, sort, not every fabric could take hot iron. You have to know the setting for the iron. Number one, buy iron with a setting what will tell you if for how much to put this iron on for cotton fabric, silk fabric, satin fabric. Um, they have this other thing because I have an iron here would tell you exactly. Let me see if I could get this iron. I have this iron. I have this iron very long, and I love this iron. This is a steam iron I have here, and it come with a big drum. Let me see if I can get it and show you. This, you see this? This is a seamstress iron. The water tank is here. So you fold this with water and it have the measurement for the water. This iron lock on here, right? It lock on here. So this is a big tank, this iron have. So this whole tank here, so get a proper iron. So this whole tank here, let me just raise up this. This whole, let me see if I could get this out. This whole tank here could come out. Let me see. If I could get it out, I would take it out. But this whole tank here could come out and wash. Let me see. Like I forget how to take this out. But anyhow, this whole piece here could come out. This is the water tank. A lot of water would hold in this. So you could take this out, this part here, go and fill it. Or what I do, I have a little bottle here with always water where I just fill it in between here. So I can't get this out right now. Like I forget how to take this out. The honest truth can mean take this out for a while. I just fill the water between here. But this whole piece here could come out, right? And next day, when I remember how to take it out, I'm going to show you, right? But this iron that I have here is a very good iron, and this have this setting on it. You have synthetic silk, you have wool setting, you have cotton setting, you have linen setting, right? So get an iron that have this setting. And the next thing, when you buy an iron, always look for a shield for the iron, because ironing is something you have to put it on a setting and you have to use a piece of cloth not to burn your fabric. Now with this, I don't have to with this shield here, I have on this, like me even remember how to take off this shield self. Let me see. Right. With this shield here, this is a shield for this iron here, right? So this one, I don't press direct, the heat direct on my fabric, right? I use this shield here that clamp on onto this iron here. So when I clamp this on here, I don't have to get a pressing cloth, because if you can see, and it have all the holes just as how the iron have it, and this is like a pressing cloth onto your iron, so it make the clothes look professional. So you have to learn all these things. So if you know you lacking in certain area with these skill, learn them. It's not everything you see online gonna be true. You understand? Because most of the time, most of them video, they just cut and paste and they just hand you down. You now thinking that, well, yes, you could make this and yes, you could do that, but they didn't show you the difficult part. You understand? Sewing is a lot of work. You understand? It's not an easy road, but when you learn to do it, you're going to like it very much. So my advice to you, try and go to a little sewing school, because it will help you to take the initiative so that you can balance yourself. And mind you, let me tell you a little secret. When you learn to sew, nobody could make style on you. You understand? When you put your clothes on, you hear, and you step out, I telling you what I telling you here now, believe me. And a lot of seamstress may got the similar feelings and the similar idea and the similar thinking like me. When I buy ready-made clothes, I don't feel the comfort and the looks and the way I want to look and the way I want to feel. I don't feel that in ready-made clothes. When I make my clothes, I there on top of the world. You hear what I telling you? I step, I fix myself up. I just feel confidence. I feel good. I feel nice. I look good, because you make your clothes to suit you. So if you know you lacking skills in certain area, practice. Practice make for perfect. My first skirt, I had to sew about 10. I had to practice about 10 of that skirt before I could get it perfect. And then when I go, somewhere I go with this skirt, and everybody asking me if I da sew the skirt. I tell them yes. They say that skirt so very neat. That look like they come out of a boutique. But they don't know the headache behind getting this skirt to look like a boutique made clothes. I had to practice 10 of that. And that's why I have this mannequin here. I will show you something. Get one of this. You see this? I would advise anybody, get one of this. Now, this is a half scale to my body measurement. This is my full scale dress farm here. Now, this dress farm, only the bust was my measurement, right? Because this bust, dress farm bust is 39 inches. My bust is 39 inches. The waist is 33 inches. My waist is 33 inches. Was 33 inches then. I put on a little weight now, it must be double the 33. I ain't measured it for a long time. The hip wasn't my hip. This dress farm hip was 30. How much was this dress farm hip? Was 32. This dress farm hip was 32. At that time, my hip was 44. So I had to pad that up to meet my measurement. So what I did, I will bring it out and show you. I bring this dress farm, I pad it up to suit me. You understand? You see the little curve in between here? And this is how my back is. I have this kind of slope, but it's like you come down here and then your back gone in and then you come out. Right? Your back got its curve in. What did I call this? What did I call this back is they have names for this, not hashback, not but I always have to go in like an inch or two on the back of my pattern so that it could come and sit here properly, because the front measurement from the two side to the front of on my bust, it will be totally different to my back. Now I had to learn all of that, right? Because when you making clothes, sometimes the first time I make a dress for me, oh Jesus, in the back is like somebody take a set of fabric and just pad it there. I tried pulling it with a belt, but it make it look really bad. So I had to learn all these things to measure from my front hip, see the measurement from my front hip to the different measurement from my back, from my waist to my back hip. Now, if you have a big butt like me, from this mannequin, you could see how this exactly is how I shape. This is how I pad this mannequin to suit me. And not only padding this mannequin like that to suit me, I had to learn to do this. That's why I tell you, if you're lacking in certain skill, practice. And how come I get to develop this mannequin exact like my body? What I did, I make a skirt and a top, right? I did not make a whole dress because I know making a whole dress, you would have a lot of seam, a lot of darts, a lot of taking to do. So what I did, I draft out a skirt and I fit that skirt on my half of my body from my waist go right down. I fit this skirt on, make sure I get a proper fit. I get my husband, some I get my son, some I get my daughter to pin it up, but pin it fitted, not big. So I pin it fitted. I make the skirt with, I wonder if I still have that one in the next video. I will show you how this skirt look. So I use the same the domestic fabric is the fabric name. Let me see what it is. Brown cotton or what? Yes, the same brown cotton, but it's we call it domestic fabric. We call it muslin. whatever. But I use that fabric. The reason why I use that fabric is because that fabric have no stretch. So I don't get the exact fit that I need. So what I did, and I had to learn this. That's why I tell you, if you're lacking in certain skill, practice yourself. Practice make perfect. So what I did, I get this domestic fabric. I draft out this skirt on pattern. I draft out the skirt, the half for the body skirt, and then I cut out the skirt. I base this skirt up. I didn't stitch it. I base it up, right? I base it up, and then I go and I try it on me, and the front of the skirt fit perfect. You know, sometimes, especially if you don't have all this tummy, the front of my clothes always fit perfect. But the back of my clothes, because of my um bam bam in the back, right? I have a lot. So because of this deepness in between the waist and the hip, it kind of tends to give you all this big fabric in between. So it never get to sit down flat. So that was my best opportunity for get this skirt to sit down here. So I base up the skirt on me, and then I take in, get my husband, or I think my daughter was here same time, to pin up all the gap in the back of the skirt. If the side was big, pin the side. And you know, especially for people who have a lot of butt, right? Who have big bottom, like myself. Most of the time, our skirt in the back tends to raise up. The front does be always longer than the back. So I get that opportunity to see how the back of my clothes sit down from the front. So I get two mirror, one in front, one at the back, and then I had two side one. So I see exactly how this skirt fit in. And I notice that the back of my skirt way shorter than the front of my skirt. That is something I don't like because it tends to make the looks of the clothes look bad. Now you have the back of the skirt and it high up inside the ear. It lifting up in the back and the front coming down like the front bowing. So that is an opportunity I had on that fabric to correct it. So what I did, I measure from my front hip, which in my front hip is 9 inches, from my waist to my front hip is 9 inches. Now, mind you, the back of your hip and your front of your hip is two completely different measurements. So when I measure the front of my hip from my waist to my hip around my hip, for thick people, it might more be around 9 to 8.5. Slimmer you is and the taller is, your hip measurement could be 7, sometimes 6. So in class I went to, and now big thick me, you understand? Short me, thick as what? When the girl measure me, she tell me my hip measurement, both the front and the back, is 7 inches. And I knew that that wasn't my hip measurement because 7 inches measurement fitted me quite up here. Now, what my hip doing quite, what my hip doing quite up here? When I know my hip is right around here. So when she tell me my hip is 7 inches, I don't know me hip fitting right under my waist. I said nah. So I came home and I practice on every hip measurement. I practice on the 7. When I put on the 7, I find the hip there quite tight. And I got a pocket. Now I didn't put no pocket in me skirt, but I had a pocket in the hip. I practice again, I got to 8 inches. That's not my hip measurement. It still have the same pocket. I got to 8.5, still not my hip measurement. When I go to 9.25, I get a perfect hip measurement. That was my front hip measurement. So I always use that hip measurement from my waist to my hip, 9.25, because I have body. My lower body, if you look at the mannequin, is more than the top. My back hip measurement, when I measure from my waist, I get a measuring tape, I go in a mirror, and I let my daughter hold that measuring tape. So I would get the measuring tape. So you have to practice all this if you're lacking in certain thing. I would get the measuring tape and I would let it hold it from my waist. And then I go measure it under. You carry it under your bottom fig. Because remember, you have all this butt projecting like your boss. Okay, behind here is like you have two boss in front. So you measuring your from your shoulder to your boss or your under boss. You have to carry this measurement right down under the boss. You understand? So I had to carry the measuring tape right under my bottom fig. And the difference between that is was way past the 9¼ inches. When I compare my front hip measurement to my back hip measurement, my back hip measurement was 13 inches, 13.5 inches. And my front is 9¼ So you see, that's why the skirt would always lift in the back, is because the skirt is not getting enough measurement for the hip in the back. If you don't have no butt, you will not have to worry about that. You could stick, because remember, it have some people in have no butt at all, right? So they don't have to worry about this hip measurement. This is for people who have a lot of bottom, a lot of butt in the back. Who, well, you understand, if you know you have big butt, your from your waist to your hip, you have to measure under your bottom fig. And next thing you have to learn, if you're lacking in certain skin, especially if you want to take work for people, you have to know the difference between, because if you look at this mannequin, from here to here, gonna got a different measurement around from the back hip, from the side. The side, you have to measure to the other side, from the back to the other side. The measurement have to be a total different measurement to a total different measurement to the front. Remember, people who have body, who have lump and bump and all these tires and wheels and steering wheel and all these things, you have to measure completely different from a slim than a slim person. A slim person don't have all these tire like what we have, and all these steering wheel and all these rims and all these things. A slim person don't have that. A slim person have no problem. They could buy a pattern, a commercial pattern. I know I have a friend. She not no bottom. She not no kind of boss. She not no shape. She just come down blam. And she could buy a commercial sewing pattern, sew it up, and she don't got no problem. It fit her plumb. I dare not do that. You understand? I have to fit all them corner and crease. So you have to know yourself. So I do the skirt and then I put it on me, pin it up, pinning all the bigness in the back. In the back here is what I have more the problem, not in the front. I have more problem in the back. So I pin it up and everything. And then I take in all, basing all way I see I had the problem. When I done base it in, I base in the dart, I do everything, and then I put on back the skirt. And I saw that the back of the skirt was lifting more than the front. So I don't know that is a problem there. You understand? So I had to come now and it have right onto the pattern. I use the pattern to do this, where I lift the pattern from, like, for this is the hip line. Like we said, this is the hip line here. So I lift from between here, I lift this area and drop this area here. So if you lift in between here, you're in lifting, remember, you're in lifting the two side seam. The two side seam will remain. You got to lift this back here, right? So you lift this back. First of all, you have to split. First of all, what you have to do, split down this skirt here. Then split here. Then raise between here, drop here. So when you raise and it become a V, this become a V, and it's you start to see the skirt expanding when I put it on. It start to expand on me, showing me exactly where this hip for this back supposed to be and where you need more room. Because you know sometimes you put on a skirt and the front hair start to pull or the back hair start to pull is because sometimes what we need to do is take off some seam allowance from the front and add it to the back. Right? So you have to learn all of that. So making your skirt sit down, you have to learn that. So if you lacking in certain ways that you see that you lacking, practice these things. For I get this mannequin like that, I have to practice with the skirt. So when I don't fit the skirt on me, and I find the skirt was perfect, I cut it, I fit it, everything, and the skirt come and sit down nice. If you notice, you see how this mannequin shape out there? The skirt is what they under this. You see how they sit down nice, it ain't got no cocking up? Because the skirt that I make for me, I fit it on the mannequin where the waist was very small, the hip was very small. I fit that onto the mannequin, the top. I do the same thing. I make the whole top out of the same muslin, fit it on, make sure it fit perfect, the armhole, everything. Fit it on the mannequin and then come and put the two together for make a whole dress. When I done, I fit it on the mannequin and I stuff it, right? I get things like, let me show you. I get things like these. I get things like these and I stuff my mannequin. They have some other ones soft like cotton. I stuff that with the dress. So I have the dress on the mannequin and I stuff the dress until it expand. You understand? To the righted measurement. So after I stuff it, it come and it expand to this shape. It give me everything. The curve, I stuff it, it give me everything like me, right? Everything, I stuff it till it expand to the measurement. And then what I did, forget it so hard, exactly like a mannequin. I use we call it with us, like if you break your hand or you break your foot or if you fracture your foot, they just have this plaster Paris where they just wrap your hand with or your foot and then they wet it and pour it on and then they left it for dry. I use that. I buy 20 bag of that because 10 could not have do. 10 only do for the half of the body. So I had to buy 2 10 pack of that. And then I purchased the wrap, the plaster Paris wrap. There's got the gauze like for wrap it, but the one where you soak and you paste it on. It's something like powder. Then I mix the plaster Paris and then I apply it, which the plaster Paris supposed to be inside of the mold, but I didn't want it inside because I didn't have no intention of cutting this down back for it lose the shape. So I decided to do it on the outside, and this how I leave it for dry for about a week because it take about a week to dry, if you could hear, right? And it dry very nice. So I could put anything on this. So I need to make a covering now for this where I could pin, and that is my perfect. Any garments I sew, perfect, perfect. I have a dress here. I will try it on it and I will show you what I use this mannequin to sew this dress and just how this mannequin, this dress fit this mannequin, just so this dress fit me, I'm going to show you. Right? I'm going to show you. So you have to learn a lot of things. You just don't just sit down and say, don't just sit down and say, oh, everything you will learn. Just so no, you have to teach yourself certain things. You have to completely teach yourself. So I teach myself a lot of things, right? A lot of things. And I will show you exactly how this dress look. And just so this dress would fit your girl. and sit down properly too. Properly. I will show you. Let me just fit it up nice. And let me show you just how this dress fit this mannequin. And I will show you the back as well. How the back come and sit down nice. And the front. See? Watch. Let me bring it a little closer. So, and this is just practicing from all the skirt. Look the back. You see? How this back come and sit down in nice here. The shape, everything. And just how this fit this, it gonna fit me. You see? How this look? Boss everybody on this. Right? So let me show you now how this dress gonna look on me. See, I try it on the second me. So I call this my twin. So I will show you me now how this gonna look on me. Just give me 1 second. Let me show you how this gonna look. Okay. All right. So let me come and show you. So you have to develop your clothes. So look. So you see, this is second me. So I don't have to be trying on my clothes for stitch and fix and all them things. I develop this so this could be exactly like me. The butt, the in-between waist, everything. And look, I don't have to take in anything. Everything perfect. Perfect. I don't even have to wear a belt with this. This dress just fit perfect. Watch. Perfect. Perfect. See? Perfect. If I want, I could put a belt with it as well. So I don't have to. So you have to learn all these things. So you see? Perfectly made. Back, everything, sit down, perfect. First time, the back of my dress used to be high up in the back, so. But now, my dress sit down, perfect. Boss, everything just. So I was happy when I take the time to learn how to do these things. So if you have a mannequin that is small, right, and you want to pad it, go and get some of the same thing. You develop a skirt for you on a top, or if you could do a whole dress, you develop it and you just fit it up on you nice, and then you put it on the mannequin and you stuff the mannequin. In the next video, I'm going to show you the thing I use for get it so hard, right? To get it so sturdy and solid, right? So you can use the same thing and develop. Now that gonna last me for years. That gonna last me for, right? So I don't have to worry about pinning clothes and padding and all these things. I fit up my clothes on that and just how it fit me. The dress fit this mannequin, it gonna fit me. I do the mannequin with all the curve because I full of curve. So that's why I said if you know that you're lacking in certain skill, teach yourself. Don't wait on teacher. Don't sit down and say, well, look, I'm going to this school and I will learn this. Yes, you will learn, but you have to put in the effort. You have to teach yourself. I always tell yourself you want to be the best. I sew in for people and I always want my clothes to look the best. Mm? This client I sewing for, she don't carry she close to nobody. She don't business who if it's still next 5 years, she waiting on me. And I just be so happy because I know she turn and she tell me when she put on she clothes, she feel like me. Like how I just feel in my clothes and look in my clothes, that's how she feel and that is how she look. When a client could tell you that when they put on the clothes that you sew for them and they feel like you, and if they feel the confidence, they feel everything, that should be a motivation for you for practice more. Put your effort into your work. You understand? That little side also. Because sometimes if me go to work, I there sewing. When I done, I collect my money. You understand? And nobody come in and give me anything to sew. Pay me anything for sew. I tell them, this is my price and this is my price. You don't want it? Go and get somebody else to sew it, because I will not reduce my price for you. You don't know the effort I have to put into this. You don't know how much ripping I had to rip. You understand? I set up this whole garments. I could have done these garments and give this person since last week. But I fit it up and forget not to put the mannequin to get to her size. And it was way too big. So after I did done, do everything. So I had to lose down back the complete garments. You understand? But I did not come back right away and do it because I know I don't have the energy. I came today for do it because I know I have the energy. Right? So this is just my little tip for you. If you are lacking in certain area, practice it. Practice make perfect. Sewing is a good skill. When you could sew and sew for people who want to become confident and happy with your clothes, they would pay you any amount to sew for them. Look, sometime I there here, and when you look at text coming on my phone, could you sew this thing for me for tomorrow, please? I said that is a late sewing, I don't take in so much late sewing, and this is what it gonna cause you to sew this thing for tomorrow. They say no problem, they need it. I tell them bring the fabric because I know there's an extra dollar and they're paying whatever I charge them. Because I'm not sitting down for sew nothing for no $20, no $40, and $100 for tomorrow. No. That's a double price. If my price is $100 for a top, you want it for tomorrow, it's $200 because I had to go now and reschedule my whole thing for you. You understand? Stop underpricing yourself and stop making people make you feel that, well, your skills is important. It is important. Stick to your price. Once you learn the area, you develop the skill in the area you lacking in, stick to your price. You understand? This is one client I have here. She never asks me price, She would say, look, this money, buy the fabric. And I should always allow me to buy the fabric. She never buy fabric. Because I know what she like. I know the type of clothes she like. I know the type of look she like. I know the type of clothes she like to wear. So I will take my time and look for the fabric, look for the fabric what I know she would like. And all I do when I finish, I clamp my price tag on it, and I carry it and I give her. And she hand me my money right there. Or sometimes she would say, when you're passing up from work, stop. Or sometimes she'd say, send your husband for if I send he with the clothes. You understand? She never questioned my price. And those are clients you have to look for. Never look for clients who won't come and say, miss all this money to sew. Since you hear that, forget it. Anytime a client come by you and you tell them, listen, 160 for sew this dress, and they say, miss all that, you can take out something, man. I only have 140. Listen, 160 is my price, 160 is my price. If I want to give you a discount, let me give you a discount. You don't come and force me to give you a discount. Stop underpricing yourself. Stop lowering your price of people. Because when you go in them fabric store and them trade store, them material store, they tell you $12.95 for the fabric, $21.95 for your fabric. You can't tell them you ain't paying $21.95. or you in paying $49.95. When you go for take a course, you can't tell the people them if the course online is $250 for the 3 months, you can't tell them you only paying $200. So you can't come to me and tell me you only pay me $100 for sew me clothes when I tell you that is my price. I just tell them go with it, go and find a tailor, we're gonna sew it for $3 for you. That one time I know I saw a dress for a girl, a beautiful dress. And I charge her $190 for sew this dress. She had no problem. She liked the dress. She liked how the dress fit her when she come. I didn't have to take in nothing on the dress. Perfect fit. She like it. She pay me my $190, no question. She gone. She sister saw this dress. And the sister came to me and she said, I saw you sew a dress for my sister and how I love this dress. Could you sew one for me, please? So I tell she, well, get so much the fabric for sew this dress, bring your thread, your zipper, and this is the price to sew the dress. All that for sew this dress? I said, nah, it's not all that for sew this dress. You understand? Carry it somewhere else where they're going to sew it for you for $20 because this is my price and this is my price. I say, ask your sister how much she pay for sew that dress. I never saw nothing for that sister. Only and that one keep coming back because her husband always tell her, when you see this girl so close for you, look better in it than when you buy. So she would always allow me for sew she clothes. Even she children does tell she, mommy, you just look better in them clothes when Tamara sew them clothes for you. Stop buying clothes and let Tamara sew it. But a lot of people now doesn't realize. You might find a ready-made dress, let me say, for $21.95 US, 40, 50. You might even get one for like $15.95. When you doing sewing clothes, the fabric alone, you understand, maybe $21.95 a yard. Depends for where you're buying. You're talking about thread, you're talking about zipper, you're talking about your time, you're talking about workmanship. All these things you have to put in when you sewing. How much hour you going to sit down for sew that clothes? If you have to print something, you have to calculate how much page. You understand? You're taking to print this thing. Whatever, you have to put your time into that. Not because you think, okay, I buy this for $100, this thing costs me $100, I will charge them an next $100 for sewing. What happened to your workmanship? What happened to the how much hour you sit down there sewing? What happened to the thread you have to buy? What happened to the zipper that you have to buy? Eh? All these things. What happened to your serger? What happened to the current that you use for sew this garment? So you have to sit down and calculate all that. In my next video, I will show you how to calculate all these things so that you could make a profit. But in today's video is just allowing you to know certain things before you can move on to the bold step. So if you know you lacking in certain area and you really want to sew, you really like it, that is a thing you have to like. It's not just jumping up and sewing. You have to like it because sewing is a frustrating process, right? You like it, you go ahead, practice, go to classes, go to find some designing school. You must take hands-on classes to get to learn these things and then teach yourself a lot of things so that you can learn and you can eventually get your own business. You understand? Develop your own name tag, your own clothing tag, your own we call it service tag. All these things you have to put into consideration if you're using this on your clothes. How much I going to charge you for a tag? How much I going to charge you for this? How much from a current? How much? All these things you have to know. Because some people will be sewing and you ain't making no profit. You spend 4 hours on a garments. And when you're done, you ain't make no profit. You're just killing yourself for nothing. So don't undervalue yourself. Don't drop you sewing price for nobody. I don't care. You understand? Don't undervalue. You know you work once is good work you putting out. Once you know your customer, them would be pleased. And always sew garments for please your customer. You may be like something, but not all customer gonna like it. You may be like how it fit, but not all customer gonna like the fit. Get their opinion, get them involved. Know what type of fabric they like. Know what type of style they like. Know what kind of fit they like. You like your clothes tight, you like your clothes loose, how you like your clothes, where you like it. Not everybody like their clothes tight, not everybody like their clothes loose. Because this client I sewing for, she don't like your waist loose. She likes your waist tight. You understand? She don't like she clothes tight, but she waist must be fitted. She don't like she clothes big, but she don't like it too small. She don't like your clothes too long. She don't like your clothes too short. So you have to know all of that about your client. So by practicing all of this, you would get to learn your client, work with your client. See, especially when they come to measure, see the face expression, see the expression, why is you measuring them? See how if they're laughing, if they're interacting with you. All these things you have to learn about your client before you can move ahead. For say you opening a sewing business or you're opening to the public and taking in sewing, you have to know all these things. So in my next video, I'm going to teach you how to interact with your client, how to measure your client, how to make them feel at ease, especially when you have to measure between the crotch and the waist. Not everybody like tape measure going between the. You understand? Not everybody feel comfortable with that. You have to put them at ease when measuring certain areas. Not everybody like you touch the bus. Not everybody like, not everybody like certain things. So you with your client, ask them, I have to pass this measuring tape around your bus. Could I pass it around your bus? I may have to touch your bus a little. Let them know. Don't just hold the measuring tape. Oh, I got to measure your bus. Come. No, I'm about to measure around your bus. My hands might touch your bus a little. So just if you would allow me, ask them. Remember, that's your client. Measuring between the two nipple, ask them if you could feel the part the bus nipple, the two bus nipple is. Not everybody like this kind of touching. You have to learn all that. So if you lack in skill in certain area, teach yourself certain things so that you can develop and you could become more professional. Your business could grow because according to how you deal with a client, the word would spread. You understand? A client come by you and you treat her rough, you feel him to the bus, you're roughing them up, you're passing the measuring tape, you think they would tell other client, me, I ain't going back by she. When you go by she, yeah, she rough. She thinks she ain't always touching your boss. She ain't always, no. People very sensitive. My client, I have to measure them. I would say, well, I have to measure your boss and I have to pass the measuring tape around your boss. My hands might touch your boss a little. It might feel a little uncomfortable, but I have to do that because this is my job to get your clothes to fit you properly. Can I go ahead? You have to ask them the permission. If I do in a pants and I have to get a crotch measurement, I would tell them, listen, I have to pass this measuring tape under your crotch right up to the back, or your back waist coming to the front. If the measuring tape might feel a little uncomfortable, can I go ahead? Ask them, that is your client. Make them comfortable, make them at ease. Don't just haul the measuring tape between the foot and you're hauling it up. No, that's your client body. They have the right to allow you or don't allow you. If you have to get a measurement between the two bust nipple, ask them if you could touch the two nipple to see where it is so you can put the measuring tape so you can get the right measure. Don't just go and I have to measure your two bust nipple and you just pass the measuring tape there. You don't know if they have a problem with the bus. You don't know if the bus hurting. You don't know anything. You have to ask, would you be comfortable if I could just put the measuring tape at one nipple to the next so I could get your right measurement? Ask question. Don't just haul the measuring tape and got your client uncomfortable. So in our next video, I'm going to show you how to make your client comfortable and get them at ease. I'm going to use one of my children to demonstrate it to you in my next video and show you the process. So this is all I have for you to know. I've been ranting a long time. I didn't want to make it too long, but other things keep popping in what I remember. So I decided to share it with you. So if you enjoy this video, leave your comment down below. If you want to see more of this, leave it down below. So we will talk in my next video. I will come and I will show you how to get your measurement for your client and got them at ease. I will use one of my kids to demonstrate it. Very simple, easy, and quick. So heads up to you. Take care. I love all of you. Don't forget, share my channel, subscribe, and be good. I will see you soon. Now, I have a dress sewing for a special occasion. I'm going to share it with you when I ready to do that. So take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye, and I will see you. Bye-bye.